I'm probably funnier than you.
Welcome again to Ridiculous.com, and today we're on phase 2 of the 36 questions women ask of men. Open up wide because it's the second bite of the shit sandwich. Winning! Yeah! That's actually kind of funny.
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex, even though we literally birth you?
Sorry, ladies. This is really going to disturb you, but it's known as science. And instead of, looking at the cats and videos and stuff on YouTube about cats, why don't you Google it? And it's a scientific fact that men and women are different. Logic and reason. Female feminist kryptonite. If you don't want to be seen as the weaker sex, it's very simple. Handle your own shit. And while we're at it, you might want to disregard feminism because they're encouraging you to be a weak-minded victim.
Why is it so bad to show your emotions?
Simple answer. How many times have you jumped into bed with a crybaby? Why is it so bad that we choose not to show our emotions, but it is so good for you to show yours all the time? If we were a bunch of crybabies who ran to our safe space all the time, nothing would ever get done.
Why are you always trying to prove your masculinity to me?
I don't know. Why don't you talk to, say, God? We're hardwired that way. Go to the zoo. Look at the monkeys. There's always an alpha monkey throwing shit at you. Edit that out. That's just the way it is. And again, how many of you ladies jump in the sack with a weepy little crybaby? Doesn't really happen. You like dudes that can handle themselves.
Why the isn't it ladylike to cuss?
I don't mind if they cuss when they get pissed off. Listen, somebody hits your car, I expect the F-bomb to come out. Drop the dishes, F-bomb. Your paycheck's cut $200, nobody explains, F-bomb. I will never fault a woman for that. But if every other word that comes out of her mouth is the F word, guess what? She went from being up here to down there. And I'll never write a check against a woman down there. It's just that simple. I really hold the same standards as dudes. But you swear all the time. You're right. But I'm on camera, number one. Number two, this is my therapy. So, fuck off. Edit that out.
When did words get gendered?
I think since the beginning of time. If you want the world to be more gender neutral, stop looking at it like a bunch of pussies.
Why is it your first instinct to doubt women who have been sexually violated or raped?
I'm going to say as a culture, we don't. But as a dude who's seen a lot of false allegations, just for the mere fact of, vindictiveness, I doubt it.
From 2007 to 2010, the state attorney's office says law enforcement agencies filed 241 false reporting cases.
If we truly were in a rape culture, you wouldn't be able to completely dissect a man's life with merely the accusation of rape. These women are being accepted at their word, and people are getting their lives decimated.
He was looking at me when I was in my towel after I got out of the shower.
Feminists call that stare raping. Any dude with a sex drive is gonna look at a woman in a towel. And while we're at it, why are you in my apartment? Get out! Woman, if you're just breaking into random apartments and taking a shower, we've got deeper issues here.
Why do you assume a woman's angry because she's on her period?
Because you act like a royal bitch, just saying.
Why do you think women that wear makeup are false advertising?
In all reality, I'm only 47 and I've been around the block. And I really can honestly say that dudes don't give a shit about your makeup. What we really do give a shit about is in the morning when you roll over and you look like Gollum. Would you like breakfast, my precious? I'm out. What is false advertising is the push-up bra, the tummy tucker, and the fake asses that you tend to wear, you bitches.
We can say the same thing about your dick size.
And here we go with a classic leap of logic from the feminists. Unless you have a prosthetic, which is really lifelike, how do you even get there?
Why isn't it weird that there's a bunch of old white men sitting in a room making legislation about what I can and can't do with my body?
Why don't you put together some logical legislation and start voting and getting involved in the process, and maybe you can step out of the cloak you call victimhood.
Why are straight guys so obsessed with lesbians?
What's better than 2 dials and pegs and some tic-tac flicking? 4 dials and pegs and 2 tic-tacs flicking, I'm just saying.
How does it feel to get kicked in the balls?
As a former boxer, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it feels like. receiving a full force liver punch and then moving the pain 8 inches south of the belly button, and you're pretty close. Getting hit in the junk doesn't last as long as having a kid, but hey, it evens out, I guess. You're in pain for 6 to 8 hours to get an epidural. We fall to the ground and look like a weeping infant.
Do you ever get tired of trying to be manly all the time?
No, because when you're a real dude, it is second nature and it doesn't require any effort whatsoever. Do you ever get tired of traveling to the bathroom in groups all the time?
Why are you so afraid of gender equality?
I'm not afraid of women having gender equality because in essence, they already have it. They already basically do everything that we do. They can opt out of stuff they don't want to do, and they have, like, I don't know, a stack of special privileges this high. All the reproductive rights. Men only have responsibilities. You can kill the kid, you can abandon the kid, or you can have the kid and force the other guy to pay for it. And it's all totally legal. What kind of crazy shit is that?
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
In what world does 77 cents equal $1?
That whole 77 cents on the dollar bullshit has been debunked more times than, I don't know, ghosts, vampires, Dracula, unicorn, and dragons. But they still keep tossing that number out there. It is complete bullshit. If you are a single, childless woman under 30, you'll probably make more than a dude. You never hear women bitching about equality, I don't know, in jobs like mining or demolition or trash collecting. It's always the cushy office jobs where they want equality, right? Fuck that shit, edit that out. Time equals money, and risk equals reward. If you don't put in the time and you're not willing to take the risk, you don't get the reward. It's basic economics. I've been hearing the 77 cents thing for so long, I've actually tuned it out because it's completely irrelevant. And then some twant on this video comes in right behind that and says 68 cents.
In what world does 68 cents equal $1?
And where did that 9 cents go? I know, right up your ass. And that's where you pulled those other statistics from. No.
Why are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you?
I find it quite ironic that you bring this question up right after you say women make 77 cents on the dollar compared to men. It is not intimidation. It is the valid realization that if you make more money than your dude, that dude has become expendable. What do you want from me? It's just the truth. She's always looking for something making either the same as her or more. A lot of guys are like, hey, if she's pulling out 100K and I'm only making 50, I'll bang the shit out of that woman all day long, but I'm not moving my shit into her house because I know in a couple years I'll be moving it back out. I personally don't give a shit about it. If she makes all kinds of money, good for her, because you know how I see that? My money's my money, her money's her money, and if she doesn't have her hand in my pockets, I probably trust her more.
Why are opinionated women seen as bitches?
Because you are.
Anyways, I'm not done. Not done. Shut the f*** up.
Most of the dudes I know are reasonable men. And if you have a good idea and you can rationally explain it, you have evidence behind it, we will listen to it. And you won't be labeled a bitch. But if you're in my face screaming, guess what?
Shut the f*** up.
You're gonna be called a biatcha to your face and probably for years after you leave. You can have all the opinions in the world. You can spew them. You can yell in my face. But if they aren't backed up by facts, why do you expect me to listen?
Why aren't you speaking up when you hear your male friends behind closed doors make jokes that are offensive to women?
We all talk trash about people because we're a bunch of hairless monkeys. And we understand when you ladies get up in your gaggle and you go in the restroom, you're talking trash about us. It's tit for tat. Personally, I'd rather have the tit. It's not really dudes you should be worried about who are trash talking you behind closed doors. It's that frenemy you always insist on keeping that has 3 knives in your back as we speak.
Why are you so afraid of recognizing your own privilege?
Well, let's see. 92% of all workforce deaths are men. Winning? No. And we represent roughly 80% of the homeless. We make up 99% of all combat deaths in the military. We are exponentially more likely to be murdered than women. And anytime you want, you can change your mind about a sexual encounter and have the dude thrown in jail. And if that is male privilege, then I wholeheartedly hand it over to you so I can laugh at you when they're putting you in the pine box. The only privilege that I really want is for me to do what I like, and also take responsibility for those actions. Because bottom line, you will never ever see a feminist take responsibility for her bullshit actions. But they can't help but take responsibility for this list of shitty questions because, hey, you're on film now, baby. And we finished the second bite of that shit sandwich, and it's a little nutty. If you have anything to add, comments below. And dudes, while we're at it, if you have any feminist or super liberal friends, send them these 2 videos because I relish the hate mail they'll send me. And while you're sending out those links, those feminists, why don't you check out our Patreon and PayPal links below? Send us a couple bucks so we can keep doing this. While you're at it, please hit the subscribe button. Because if you do, I promise I won't falsely advertise my dick size. Winning! How do you even do that? How do you even do that? How did we get here?
Deep dicking.
A dude can get out of high school, get a high school degree. Where you going?
I'm gonna grab my phone, you go ahead.
All right. I got to fart. They bitch, they cackle, and they brew, and they do all kinds of crazy stuff. Be a lumpy liver licker. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I know I can't up. Well, and then they say, well, it's not raped, it's sexually assaulted. And I'm like, okay, so what happened? They got on the elevator, her tits bumped into the guy next to him, and then he sexually assaulted her? Oh, wait a minute. It was probably edit that out.